Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing today? So I'm just getting everything set up nice and ready. Okay. Right, looking good. Brilliant. So what are we to do today? Today we are going to be taking a look at the R&D. Now I have found a post within the forum that I do find rather interesting. It is actually in regards to the R&D here, and it does actually give us some pretty good information. Excuse me. The issue I've been having regarding R&D is really understanding the models and how I want to go about things. What we have to take a look at here is really, well, the aircraft progression. For example, we need the A6M3A 0, and then from there we go to the A6M5C. So it would probably be worthwhile us actually taking a lot of the planes, a lot of the R&D facilities that we're not using, and having them converted over so we can actually use them quite effectively. It's not so much the actual models, it's more so the cost. That is something I need to really figure out. I need to figure out what we really want to be producing here. We have to really ground ourselves in the economics. Now, happily, we did find out last stream. I'd actually been making a mistake by assuming the cost of the R&D expenditure at least. Actually, I don't know whether it's the R&D that is 100. Like, for example, let's take a look over here then. So I'm just going to take a look as if I was to expand the A6M2. Yes, right, 10 heavy industry, superb. That's great. Obviously, this is for the air production, so if I take a look at R&D and see if that costs anything more. Okay, 10 as well, brilliant. That's good. Banzai! Hello there, Madcat, how you doing, my friend? Okay. So what we need to do then is figure out how we're going to build this economy. What we have to bear in mind is we only have... I mean, this is it. It seems like we have a lot of supplies. It does seem like that, but we really don't. We have 2.8 million supplies here. Now, we do produce 24,275 tons of supplies each turn, well, each day. Which seems like a lot, but in reality, it's really not, to be honest. So 24,275 times 30. So 728,250 supplies per turn. Well, per year. No, sorry, per month. Over the course of the year, that would be 8.7 million tons of supplies. Again, it seems like a lot. But, yeah, no, it's really not. For example, each point of industry, each point of R&D that we expand, requires 1,000 supply. You can imagine, let's say here, for example, the A6M20 production. We're producing 90 additional R&D facilities, aren't we? So that's 90 times 1,000. That's 90,000 supply right there. Now, it's going to eat away. It really is going to eat away. Obviously, then, as we then convert these over to actual production facilities as well to further R&D, the amount of supply will increase, and of course, we have everything else that's required supply, so we really don't have that much. So, Akalaris, how you doing, my friend? Awesome. He's my favorite pirate radio. Man, you know what? I'd love to do radio. That'd be nice. Just sit in a nice, comfy chair, talk shit all day. It's basically what I do now. That's fantastic. Right. What I want to figure out at this moment in time is just how much I've spent so far. If I take a look at the industry management, I believe we started with about 50,000 heavy industry, so we're not used a terribly large amount. I just want to have an idea how much we're using. Of course, you can see here that we produce 13,900 points of heavy industry. Right. Smooth jazz. That'd be great. Okay. But yes, what we'll do first then is we're actually going to go to the R&D, I'd say. Again, I'm going to show the post that I was looking at earlier. Yeah. So this is how I'm going to base my R&D. I think we might make certain changes depending on certain aircraft. But I think this is a good model. At the end of the day, we need to make these changes within the first 4 days if we want to actually get the best benefit. Each day we delay means an additional 2 days, roughly, is from what I can understand reading here. Okay. I mean, this gives us a good breakdown of these actual aircraft, which is quite nice, the reason for actually taking them. Of course, we'll actually look at these models and decide ourselves, but we'll use this. I think this will be quite nice. Okay. What we'll do then is obviously sort by type. Sorry about that, I still have a bloody annoying cough, and it really does annoy me, because I really wish I was rid of it. Now, for example, over here on the post, he's only going with 60 A6M3A0 facilities, which I can understand why he'd be going for that. It looks as though he's going from the A6M3A pretty much straight onto the A6M5C, which is not a bad strategy at all, to be honest. If we take a look at the A6M5C, I mean, this is the thing, I don't have that much of a grasp on the R&D system, due to the fact that I've simply not had that much experience with it. We'll take a look at the aircraft comparison. Fighter. So I'll have the A6M5 and the A6M8. Oh, sorry, A6M3A. There we go. So here's the M5. You can see this arrives in 1943, closer to 44. This 4212. There's not a huge difference in time here. I think as far as I can understand with R&D, you're better off researching something within about 2 years of it arriving, historically. Now that speed's very impressive. Cruise speed remains the same. The range is, well, lower here. Altitude's higher, climb rate is higher. Maneuverability is a little bit lower. Durability is higher. Service rating is better. It's probably going to be down to the weapons used. You can see here the Type 89 MG, same as the A6 M3A. Type 99 2 cannon, yep, same. Okay. The speed is important. Altitude's very nice as well, having that climb rate. The durability is pretty good as well. There's a more durable fighter, which is nice. The actual maneuverability is pretty decent, considering what we'll be fighting. It does have, let's see, 0 to 10, 10 to 15, 16 to 20, 20 to 25. 0 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 16, 16 to 20. Okay. HA35. Right. We'll follow the same method then. It doesn't look better on paper. I mean, it is a better aircraft, it just doesn't look as, like, oh wow, we should go for that immediately. But the durability is very nice. Radio XRG. Why don't you check the Zero planes you'll use against the American planes? Yeah, we'll do that then. That's always nice to actually get a good comparison, isn't it? We'll look around the same sort of time frame then. So what we're going to be aiming for, if we follow this method, is we should have the A6M5 probably pretty damn soon. I don't know, rough estimate, but potentially maybe early 1943, maybe even late 1942. I doubt late 1942, so probably early 43. If I could shave some months off this, I'd be very happy. God, there's so much. I mean, the BBC radio station is pretty good, but oh god, BBC, just some of their television programs are just trash. Okay, we'll look at the Americans. Okay. So we have the Corsair over here. That's probably the aircraft to be pitted against. You can see the maneuverability is actually much, much better. Of course, we still lack the armor. The American aircraft do have a much higher service rating. They do have a higher gun value as well. Check the variant. Yeah, good plan. I think we'd be going for the A6M5C. Okay, actually that does present a much different story here. Maneuverability is lower. Climb rate's still good. Speed is a little bit lower. Well, I mean, the Corsair has a really good top speed. The cruise speed is actually significantly lower. Yeah, this is actually a very well armed aircraft, actually. The 13.2mm Type 3 MG cannon, additional 13.2mm MGs. It's actually a very nice thing here. That's pretty awesome. We'll take a look at the B variant. We have a mix of MGs here. No, I don't see the reason behind that one. If we look at the A6M8, which is what would be ultimately aiming for in the end, we do finally have some armor. Okay. What we'll do then is we'll pursue the A6M5C. So again, I'm going to show you the... well, I suppose guide I'll be following here. We'll go for this. I mean, this is probably the clearest bit of information I've seen on the forum. This lays out quite nice, makes it very easy. I can actually see the locations, the amount he's going for. What we have to decide on is, for example, so we'll have the A6M3A. Notice he has 2 production runs here of R&D. Well, I mean, this is aircraft. Here we go, R&D. Okay, yeah, so I was looking at the wrong post here. This is the one I was actually talking about. So that's my bad for missing that. But yeah, we can actually see here, this is quite nice and easy to see. So 30 seems to be the one we're looking for at max. Okay. My, this is very different. Yeah, he's following a completely different path. A7M2 Sam. We'll take a look at that then. Well, obviously that's some way away, isn't it? Then again, no, this still works out working for us. So what we'll do then is we'll set things up like this. So I'll have some R and D for the A6M5s. I like that. Okay. I'll follow this roughly anyway. Obviously we'll have some changes, but it'd be good to see what we can do with the relatively useless aircraft. I suppose you could call them relatively useless. Yeah, the A7M pre-Sam. Hello there, Mia, how you doing, my friend? Hello there, JC Destroyer, how are you doing? Also, the Hellcat is the one he'll choose. Okay, we'll take a look at the Hellcat. F6F. Yeah, very nice aircraft. Maneuverability is quite low, which is quite nice. It's not terrible, though. I mean, these are very durable aircraft. I mean, obviously the A6M2. So the Americans are always going to have the durability advantage over us. What are the other options? Check against the American planes while you can. Any swordfish annoying you? Not yet. Right. What we're going to do then is we're going to go into the R&D. So what I'm going to do is actually bring up that upper post and just minimize that just so I can actually see chat and work on that. I mean, this is a thing. I'm not very knowledgeable on R&D. This is one of the areas where I do truly lack the experience to make more profound decisions. Obviously, this comes down to playstyle. this player will be looking towards the A7M2 as I'm looking towards the later Zeros. I mean, we might be looking towards the Franks. But the Sams are also a good option. But again, I'm talking about plane models here. We'll get to them when we get to them. Frankly, we'll get the basic setup and we'll go from there. Aye. Okay. What I'm going to do then is we'll leave the R&D as we've set it for the time being. And then we'll change it in the future. I think what we'll do then is we'll initially go for the A6 M3A. And then we'll have that change to the A6 M5. Yeah, that's true. See, I do wish I could actually sort this out into a more manageable window. Like, for example, being able to see, like, the types of aircraft, and obviously whether they're Army or Navy. That's very nice. Okay. We do have some research in the A7M2 SAM at this moment, which is not bad at all. What we could do then is actually just have this expanded in the future, but we'll take a look then. Yeah, like I've got a lot of the G3s. We do have it decided. I have a document somewhere. What this really is, it's like we have our main aircraft selected. What I'm doing here is really just deciding what to do with the rest of these. Like, for example, the KA-1, GA-8, M1. All of these are the ones I'm not entirely sure of. Yeah, like, for example, the KA-45s. What we'll do is we'll look at the time of arrival. I just wish I knew more about the R&D side and what planes I'd really want. I have a rough idea, but it's the rest of the R&D I want to be using here. I mean, it's only really... Yeah. See, I can't decide now. I really can't decide. I think what we'll do then is we'll push some of these other facilities. For example, like Kobe. I'll move them to the A6 M5C R&D. A6 M5C, there we go. Yeah, we have most of these already sorted. I mean, this is... It's like, as I say, it's like we have our main aircraft already decided. Like, for example, I'm using... Let's see. Yeah, like, for example, over here, Mabashi, we have this already worked out. It's these other ones, like, for example, the B7A2 Grace, the C6N1, the aircraft models I'm not familiar with, but I really want to figure out what I want to do with them. I think what we could do is probably set, like, a rule of, like, 2 facilities to start research. But I'll start expanding these, obviously, to 30. We do have 32,000 supply here. We should have enough. We're also using manpower. And, of course, heavy industry. Takes us to 9, takes us to 24, an additional... Oops. Additional 6. Okay. 29,000. Okay. At least I'll be able to track the amount of supplies and heavy industry used here. Yeah, okay, I'll bring it up anyway. Oops, wrong one. It's not so much the actual models, it's really how to actually structure R&D. How many facilities do I really want to be working at once? I think we'll go with a rough rule of... It really does depend, doesn't it? Yeah. Interesting. I mean, we are rushing towards the... Well, the A6M2 is obviously going to lead us down this way. We'll go the A6M3, A6M3A. Well, obviously that's if we're pushing that route. We are researching, of course, the A6M3A already. And then we'll move to the A6M5C variant. Which is over here. Now, it does arrive much later, but at the end of the day, if I start pushing the research towards this one, at least we'll have the far superior A6M5. Yeah, here's a Jack for George. HA32, HA45, 43. We'll take a look at these other Navy aircraft. We'll take a look at the contenders. Can you capture enemy equipment? That's a good question. Good question. I don't particularly know about that. I know you definitely can in one of these, but I'm not entirely sure regarding War of the Pacific. I'm not entirely sure about that one. It's a good question. Right, so here's a Jack. A7M2. Wait a minute. Right, A7M2, J2M2. There we go, fantastic. So the J2M2. We'll compare it to its contemporary. Obviously there's some... Well, actually, I suppose it's probably closer to the A6M5. Yeah. I suppose closer to the A6M3A. That'd be great if I could catch those godlike swordfish. Now you do have armor, which is interesting. Though you do use the Mitsubishi HA32. I mean, this is the issue. It's actually the different engine. So if we take a look, we'll take a look at our engine production. HA32. So if I take a look at the planning pop-up. R&D. I guess just all. So 32. Right, so used for the B6N1 Jills. So dive bombers, level bombers, patrol planes. So you actually are quite important, I suppose you could say. Right, so potential engine use there. I think what we should probably do then is take a look at our potential engine use of certain engines and start actually upping the production facilities to reach that goal. That probably will be a good way to start. And the tracker's given us good information here. It's saying, hey, you're going to be roughly using this much, you should probably try to equal that. So at the moment, my production of the HA32 is 60, so we produce 2 a day. So I need to increase that to 138. You can see here potential engine use for the HA33 is very large. Oh, right. Wait a minute. Do you really use the HA33? Now that is intriguing. How strange. Maybe just an issue here. R&D perhaps. Right, there we go. 32. 33. 5 dive bombers and a lot of the army aircraft. Hello there, Truth. How you doing, my friend? Wow, 4 hours, bloody hell. Do you want to give me some of your thoughts then? I actually do love to have some input here. See, most of the moves that I've already made in terms of actual forces, the thing that's really drawn me up at the moment is the economy and the R&D. The economy we can work at. It's like I'd like to have like accurate figures, but I can work them out without much issue, I suppose, just having the time. So I suppose what I wanted to do here in this stream is we're going to really go through and into the R&D, and then afterwards we are going to talk about my actual suspicions of Lexington. Aye, indeed. These streams are pretty long. There's a lot of theory crafting involved here. Right. KA-46. I suppose... I don't know why you're listing... Right, engine, okay. This is strange. Why are you still listing these guys? I find that so bizarre. Yeah, I mean, these are our float planes as well, our float plane reconnaissance. As well as most of our bombers. HA-34, of course, the Tojos. As well. I do believe the KA-49s are our level bombers that we're pursuing. Yeah, we're leaving these ones to basically be phased out. This one, to begin with, the Kotobuku. Well, Kotobuki. Alright. So I'm expanding the HA-33 to begin with. An additional 35. Yeah, I can imagine this is going to be able to... I suppose this is why we have such a high level of demand, considering that each one of these planes needs 4 engines. At least a lot of them need 4 engines or 2 engines. There's a larger demand there. Indeed. So I can see here I have 65 facilities. We'll go into the game and take a look at the real numbers. I might have actually started some on the path of building. Right, engines. So I'm producing some 33s here at Nagoya. We're expanding that by 35, so that's going to bring us up to about 100. That's fine. So that gives us our total there of 100. Okay, fantastic. Okay. So pool plus needed reinforcements. We need to build... we need to have 353 zeros in our pool. At least as far as I can tell from this. I mean, some parts of the UI are fantastic. Some parts are a little bit... yeah. We'll figure things out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay. So what we'll do then is... So we're having the expansion to about 100 to begin with. Nagoya does have a decent amount of supply. What we'll do then is we'll leave you to build up to 100 to begin with. I'll then expand this later, but we'll take a look at the HA32. We'll take a look at the other engines and start production there. Okay. Yeah. Well, this is it. We can see that in regards to the HA33. It's like in reality they do need pretty high production. I think that's saying that we need at least 350 HA33 production plants. That is... I suppose the investment isn't that large. It is really. It's a lot of supply being used. In fairness, I could legitimately just use these numbers here and we build up to that. Like, for example, my potential use here, I think this represents the full potential use. The I assume this means potential. R&D requires 125 then. We'll go for the number in the bracket. Yeah, potential engine use. Yeah, okay. We'll use these numbers here then. Right, we'll take a look at how much it's going to cost us. So for example, the HA33, if I was to go to 457, a lot. And do I really need that many aircraft? Not really. I think we can ignore that for the most part, considering I'm not going to be producing that many airframes. Hello there, Gary, how you doing, my friend? So what we'll want to do then is really take a look at how many airframes we will be producing. So how we're going to figure that one out is we're going to go into the R&D. What we'll do with our R&D then is set this up. So I'm going to be going quite heavy, obviously, on the fighters. Now, what the plan here is, I'm going to have one of these facilities switched over immediately to production. Then again, I don't have to, do I? No, I'll keep these 3 facilities here on the A6M3A. Once we do have the A6M3A, we can move these guys over to the A6M5 immediately. Depending on how production is going at the time. Because how it'll work is, for example, the A6M2 production facility over here at Mambashi will be upgraded to the next upgrade automatically, pretty much. I think we will increase this by an additional 100. I mean, again, that is a lot, isn't it? I only have... Yeah, I think we definitely need more planes than just 100. That would only give us 6 zeros a day. Right, what we're going to do here then, so we'll take a look at the actual production. This is going to give us the actual numbers. So... Is that during AE? Right, total ready reserve repair. Right, pool and need reinforcement. Let's take a look then. So... R&D. Right. Okay, let's go back to available. So, A6M2. So I'd need 146 planes to upgrade. So let's put this number into the calculator. So 146 A6M2s. So this would upgrade all the available squadrons. Or is that the actual number? Right, total in brackets. So total is 171. 171? So at the moment we need 67. Hmm. Right, let's compare. A6 and 3A. So I'm looking at needing 341 zeros. Well, A6 and 3As. Right, required build is 341. Required build is 282. Right, now this gives us some numbers to work with. If I take my required build here of 282, I'm producing 56 a month. 282 divided by 56. So it's going to take us 5 months to actually get to that point. And that would be without any losses incurred. So what I can do here then is we'll take 282 divided by 100. Right. So with 100 A6M2 airframes being produced over the course of a month, it would take us 2.82 months, so just almost 3 months. If I increase that to 150 A6M2s... Yeah, there's a big difference there. Well, actually, no, I did it the wrong way around. God damn it. My maths is terrible, I know. Right. Almost 2 months. At 200... Right. Almost 1.5 months. Actually, yeah, that's just under 1.5 months. Okay. That's good, then. 200 then divided by 30. So that would have us producing 6.6 A6M2s per day. Which is good, actually. I think this is what we need to aim for. When you take a look at the actual total losses there, 56. We've lost so many zeros here in this 1 day of battle that it's going to take us a month to actually replace those losses. So we're going to increase the production of the A6M2 to 200 airframes. I know that's a lot, but you've got to imagine this production facility will be upgraded to different models in the future. So how this works is, for example, if I get up to 200 A6M2 production facilities, so let's just say 100%, when I switch over to the A6M5A, we'll lose a good couple of those production facilities. So, I don't know, let's just say, for example, that we lose 30 of those, and that takes us down to 170. If I obviously had 100, a loss of 30 is a bigger deal than at 200. Okay, if I go to R&D, so for the A6 and 3A, I'd need 341. So we'll do 341 divided by 200. So I'd need almost 2 months, just under 2 months, to actually replace all of my A6M2s with the A6M3As. So we'll aim for about about 200. About 200. So let's expand into 100. We'll expand that to... Yes. That's going to use 1,000 heavy industry. Of course, I do have a lot of heavy industry points here available. 10,000 supply. Expand down. There we go. That is going to increase our engine requirement. If I take a look over here. Right. So that's 269. Now this is taking into consideration our actual figures from beforehand. So that's good. Yeah. So our potential engine use here is 429. Obviously that will increase. I don't know whether this takes into account the increase in airframe production. I've got to assume it probably does. Can I go for a planning pop-up here? Right, the Nakajima HA35. Right, it's not taking into consideration the expansion. It's a later stream than what I've been doing normally. Of course, at this time I'd be probably doing a Slytherin stream to fair Matrix Slytherin stream. I'm just having a bit of a... Well, I'm having a beer at the moment, and I thought I'd take a look at this. It's been bothering me. I've been wanting to talk about this, and I've been wanting to get this done. So I thought I'd just have a bit of a natter. We'll go through things. We can all get together and talk and be merry together. Okay. So they're Danoko. This is what we've got to consider as well, the KA-43s. Right. We'll figure out how many HA-35s we're going to be requiring. So I'm going to be using at least 200 then for the A6M2s. I'll bring my calculator back up as I bloody close it like a fool. Right, so 200 for the A6M2s. HA-35. We're looking now at the engine and aircraft production. What we're doing at the moment is really going into the R&D and just the air production side of things. These are really important things that we need to figure out pretty much now. Right, building. Right. Obviously this has been expanded to 200. No expansion on this at the moment. But I do need 294 K-43s. It's alright, I'm not terribly familiar either, so we'll get through it together. Then we're moving on to the K-43-2A. Though I think we did take a look at the actual models. I think I might... Well, actually, let's take another look then. So, aircraft comparison, IGN... Well, IGA. B. Right. There's either the K-43-2B, 2A or 2B. Oh, of course the Tojo. Now the 2B does have a major advantage in having armor. We're going to obviously work towards the 2B then. We'll need to increase our K-43 airframe production as well. I mean, the thing is, for example, that's going to be 200 HA-35s. Not to mention all the other planes that use it. There's not a huge amount that use it at the moment, but we are going to need them. I'll check the B-25 bomber you had trouble with in your game with the AI. The Tojos are going to be really the ones to deal with those. And the K-43s. I mean, what is that armament like? Well, the 1C has obviously a lower armament. Yeah, a weaker armament than the 0. If I compare them to the A6M2. Yeah, the 0 has a much higher firepower. You do have better MGs though. You obviously have the cannon. Your maneuverability is just superb though. Absolutely superb. Durability is slightly higher. Climb rate's very good. Yeah, but once we have the armor, you have nothing to deal with. Swordfish better than build some biplanes. Indeed. So what is our... Right, we'll take a look at the actual production here. If I take a look at airframes. So, we haven't lost any Ki-43s at the moment. I have 12 of them currently in the pool. We are producing just over one Ki-43, 1C per day. I need 294 then in total, roughly. Well, 316 in total. That's obviously without any losses. What I'll do then is expand this to 100. I'm going to go roughly with 100 to begin with. Okay, that takes us to 62. Right, takes us to 100 airframes. So that's 300 engines now. Who's getting the priority of the Army or the Navy? The Air Force, to be honest. It really does come down to the Air Force. But I suppose it would be the Navy. Yeah. No, I know what you mean by your question. Priority really does go to the Navy. Predominantly the Navy. The Army does have some armoured fighters, which is quite nice. But we can figure out that with the expansion program, we'll be using at least 300 HA-35s for just obviously the fight production that we have set up already. We might even increase these numbers. We might even increase the amount of zeros. I'm alright with 200, I think that's probably a decent compromise. We obviously have to bear in mind that the cost of supplies of okay. Okay. Yeah, you're set to repair. Oh, there's no additional here. Right, we'll take a look at this soon. And we'll go about our R&D. Right, let's find some J to M2. We'll increase that. Additional 10. That takes us to 30. We'll make you the J2M2. There we go, just an additional 10. Okay. I was going to say you should either concentrate on taking out China early so they can't bog you down. As far as it goes with China, we'll persecute the war to the best of our ability, really. I can't take troops from China due to the fact that they have an agreement with THG. I'm going to be reinforcing them with forces from Manchuria. Other than that, I have sufficient force in China to bring the war to a conclusion. It's going to be taking objectives. The vast majority of my forces from elsewhere in the Empire will be dispatched either to Dutch East Indies, to Malaya, or of course to Burma perhaps. Though I will be looking at Pacific Island hopping, so we'll be taking a few islands out there as well. The illusions will be a nice target as well. Okay. So you did run low on supply at one point. So I'll bring you up to... There we go. What is the K-49? Okay, so it's a bomber. Okay. Plenty of supply here in Tokyo. So bring this up to 30. We'll go for about 2 production runs and 2 R&D runs of these aircraft. Keep numbers nice and round. Obviously the optimum is about 30 anyway. So it's going to take some time before these are ready. Then what we'll do then is we'll go down the actual chart. So K-49, K-49-2A. There we go. Obviously keep a note of the supply. Right, what's the KI-61? Right, so what I've decided is we're going to expand A6M2 production to 200 airframes. And we're expanding KI-43-1C production to 100 airframes initially, pending further expansion later. What I'm doing now is I'm looking for these actual models, and then we're setting it up so, for example, the KI-49-1A will have 2 runs of 30, and then we'll do the same. Work things out like that. Yeah, well... When it comes to R&D, things are a little bit more complicated because there's a lot of knowledge that is gained through really play. We can obviously bring aircraft historically earlier into the war, which is it's a very important asset. And what we're trying to do really is bring the A6M5s and other aircraft that are quite powerful. What the hell is he, Tony? It's definitely not a bloody tiger. I mean, this is definitely the part of the game where I'm not as knowledgeable, or don't have the experience I really wish I did have. We need to figure out how many aircraft we're actually going to need. It's going to be a instance of how many airframes we want, how much we actually want that aircraft, how many R&D facilities, and then how many engines we produce. I need to produce an abundance of HA-35s, to be honest. Right, look at the KI-61 here. Right, so it's a fighter. Armor 1. Okay, it's interesting. Take a look at it. Well, compared to the 43-2A. Okay. Yeah, we'll have scouts, don't worry about that. So they're roughly the contemporaries, they're roughly there. But the range here is way different. That's impressive. But you do have a very good speed. You are a very attractive looking aircraft. It looks a lot like a German aircraft. Service rating is actually pretty respectable at 3. That's actually very respectable. And considering that the vast majority of Japanese aircraft only have one service rating. Your armament's only MGs though. Granted, you do have 12.7s. The 2A has... yeah, only two 12.7s. However, you do carry two 250kg bombs, which is actually not bad. We could actually use them for taking on airfields. Take a look at these other variants. Yeah, that's very nice. Right, what would it actually recommend for us? There's a DB601 engine in it. That's interesting. Okay. We have a KI-61A. If I go 1A... now this is interesting. I could actually start with the 1A, and that would go to the 1B. Or I could go with the 1C, which would lead onto the 1D. It has modified German engine and had German cannons. Interesting. Gun value 1412. Ooh, that seems interesting. There's actually quite a lot of variants here. So we have the 1C. Obviously this would arrive a lot later on. What do we compare you to? K43 2B. He'd probably be stacking up against the K44 2B. Okay. Climb rate's already better over here. Speed's better. Armament is... I mean, these 40mm cannons... those are very, very nice. So they're duty. Oh dear. Yeah, 20mm cannons. We'll take a look at the D variant. It's the armor that matters. They all have armor. Oh dear. See, I mean, this is this is a very attractive thing about the K61-1A Tony. It's the fact of having that armor. That armor is really a big deal. It would definitely help out our survivability here. We'll have research initiated towards it. It's really, do I start with the 1A or do I start with the 1C? I mean, I could start towards the 1D, but that's quite some way away. I mean, even this is some way away at 43. Nearly 44, to be honest. What I'll do then is I'll have 2 runs of the 61-1A, and then we'll go to the 1C. I don't think the Japanese 40mm cannons were very good. Slow muzzle, velocity and spread. Yeah, these are all expensive. A lot of these are just... it's one of those. Yeah, it would have been before the 0-2. Having armor is very, very attractive to me right now. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking here. Get the 1A, get some armored aircraft. We'll go for that then. X61-1A Tony. Yeah, it's not far away either, is it? Good point. We already do have some decent R&D towards it, so we just need to expand this by 8. I'm better off going 10 and just taking 2 away. 29,000, almost 30,000 tons of supply here. Right, have this moved to the 1A. Okay, 49. Oh, sorry, KI-60, what is what I'm looking for here? 1A. Okay. Yeah. I mean, having our pilot survive is incredibly important. I'm not going to have that many pilots, to be honest. I don't produce that many. The Allies have a pretty much infinite amount, to be fair. They don't need to worry. It's the same about industry. I mean, the Japanese side of the game is a hell of a lot deeper than the Allied side. Right, the Ki-67. Let's take a look at those bad boys. I think they're bombers. Yeah, 67. It's some way away though, isn't it? I think when it comes to the bombers, I'm not going to spend that much time. We don't really need to worry about that to a great deal. Especially when it comes to level bombers. I have the Navy on that one. I got 2 super chats. See, this is the thing. It's like I'm looking at this chat over here, so I don't see these things. So, I mean, if you... Oh, wow. Oh, shit, dude. Holy shit, man. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Thank you so very much, guys. I'm sorry about that. Like, honestly, I've been looking at that screen, so I've missed these. Thank you so very much. Bloody hell, guys. That's a big donation, guys. Bloody hell, thank you so very much. I'm sorry, but I missed that. It's not that I'm ignoring you, it's just I don't see it on that screen. I might just stick to YouTube then for the time being. Thank you so very much, guys. Bloody hell. Here's £10 to fund the Yamato. Build some zeros, you lazy gaijin. Banzai. Have a pint of meal, whatever. 20 Canadian dollars to get you... Oh, thanks, man. Nah, I really do appreciate that. Thank you so very much, guys. Oh dear. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. Honestly, if you guys want to donate, it really does make a massive difference. It's honestly amazing. But don't feel like you ever have to or you're obligated to. It's honestly if you guys want to. I'd hate to make it anything like that. I mean, it would be nice to eventually do this sort of full-time, or at least make it more of a second job. And it does work nicely for me. I'm trying to really build it up. But I enjoy this, and I don't want ever to get to a point when I don't. It's nice being able to just play niche games, you know. That's what I enjoy. The amount of effort you put into this game is mind-boggling to me. I mean, honestly, it's the best series I've ever done of one specific. It's the one where I've really put the most effort in. I really do want to beat the historical gamer, and I really want it. I want to do this series. It's why I'm doing it as these stupidly long streams. So at the end of the day, it means that you guys can actually see the learning process as I go through it. We can make these decisions together. I think it's really nice to be able to do this. I'd hate to do this alone, if you get me. Oh dear. But if we do, that means you better goddamn win those. Indeed. Oh dear. Thank you so very much, guys. That's really bloody appreciated. And we'll take a look at the Peggy, actually. Okay, so is this a level bomber? That's a nice looking aircraft. We'll compare it to the Navy then. So if we take a look at what we'd be going with the Navy, I should really learn which... I actually organise these, that'd be nice. One thing I've learned is you kill every biplane. They're just bloody maneuverable, that's the issue. Right, IGN level bombers. So, the Peggy is some way away, I'm not gonna lie. Can I ask you a question about your Slytherin Defense of the Reich 1945 stream? Yeah, sure, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Feel free. Okay, so I've been looking at the G4M2. Or the Q1W1. Or, well, this is one we're going for the P1Y2. We'll compare. Level bomber. Well, P1Y1. The Francis. No, Francis. Francis? I'm just gonna go so I'm gonna go and say the Francis. God damn it, I get tongue tied sometimes. Right. Obviously they arrive roughly around the same time, and obviously this arrives sooner. Night Witcher showed how powerful biplanes are. Maybe you should build some. Hey, we'll continue to build biplanes. Well, we don't have any biplanes. Maybe we'll have some float planes that are well, I suppose we do have some float planes. We have biplanes. Do I actually still have any biplanes? I might do somewhere. I don't think I'll have many. I was wondering, do you think it was too hard difficulty to put it on? Seems like the Soviets' advantage and the AI advantage on making it ultra obscene. Oh no, we've I think I could probably have still survived an impossible. Probably. It would have been hell. I mean, I'm saying that we probably might not have been able to. I think some of the moves I made were a little bit too ambitious. I was very much hoping to actually pull off a counter-offensive. But the thing is, when the Soviets have over 1 million more men than you do, it becomes rather difficult. Do I regret it? No. The nuts, nades fighters garbage. Yeah. Well, what we're doing with the nades is we're not going to produce anymore. Well, I've stopped producing their engines. But what I'm going to do is I still have all those engines in the pool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep producing those aircraft until we run out of those engines, and then I'll get rid of that production completely. Might as well, while I have the engines, get some use. Since you're okay, I tend to kill the swordfish. Right. Let's take a look at this. So the Navy obviously tends to have longer ranged aircraft. They both have armor. I think it comes down to really the armament. Yeah, you're equipped with torpedoes. You just run torpedoes. You just run torpedoes. Okay. P1Y2. There we go. Again, torpedoes. Okay. Is it the G3? G3M3. G4M1, G4M2. Okay, so the G4M2 is probably the equivalent here. Again, torpedoes. I feel like we could probably ignore this one for the time being. Let's take a look. See, this is where I wish I could sort this by actual types of aircraft. Right, I'm researching towards the P1Y1. Is it too bad your bombers missed 4C? Well, I think that was my fault. No, we'll be able to catch them, don't worry about it. If we go over here, we'll take a quick look. For example, Force Z, as far as I can tell, is heading east. Now it says there's CV in there, but that's a lie, we know there's not. What it was is I think I'd accidentally set these squadrons to night attack. So they were going out in the night trying to find their targets, and obviously having no success. Alright. Wow, I'm glad I've looked at this. Why are you targeted to? Right. Yeah, we need to obviously look at these. These are not using the right settings at all. Some of them are targeted at Singapore, which is ridiculous. Okay, let's cancel that. Target, well, commander's discretion. I'm glad I've actually looked at this. Right, okay. Set all G3M2s. Yeah. Okay, I mean, that's a good question there. We'll actually bring up the drawing tool. Why would Force Z go east when it could go south? It depends really what he wants to do. So for example, let's bring up a nice green. There we go. So here's Force Z. Now, as far as I can tell, he's heading east. I can't see southeast, but then again, he might be heading in this, well, this way. Yeah, we'll check our bombers. I blame just having so much to do on that first turn. Indeed. I think we'll be able to give him a good show. Right, so as far as we can tell, he's heading east. What I'm doing is I'm having Congo and Haruna and her escort. They're shadowing along this way. What I want to do is have them shadow. I don't want them to engage in direct conflict, ideally. I don't want a surface battle. The Prince of Wales and the battlecruiser Repulse, they could actually seriously mess up my battleships. We do have greater numbers, and we do have greater total number of guns. But the thing is, I don't want to get into a surface engagement here. But yes, why would he go east? To be honest, it's an interesting possibility. He could try to head into the Celebes Sea. He could head towards the Philippines here, which is an interesting move should he do that. I mean, this is it. Could he support the Allied forces over here in the Philippines? Potentially so. Potentially so. He could be on his way to actually trying to interdict my amphibious invasion. The one I do think he's taken a look at doing is... Right, what we're going to do here is we're just going to move. What we're going to look at is the possibility over here in the Pacific. So for example, say he was to actually make his way down here. He could try to attack my Pacific islands. Namely, he could be on his way towards Truk, potentially. He might actually be heading down this way to link up with Australian and, well, Commonwealth, Australian forces here. And the Dutch as well. You can make it through here, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, you can definitely make it through here. Either way, his motive is an interesting one. As far as I can summarize, I assume he's on his way over here to potentially guard his shipping that's trying to escape from the Philippines. He may be trying to interdict my invasions. Might he be trying to intercept these Sarawak invasion fleets? Why would he lose them to subs? He knows that it's time to subs. They can plan to go where they fancy. Well, this is it. The thing is, we're not entirely sure his actual heading. We have a rough estimation. We have an idea of where he's heading right now. Whether he changes his mind is another question. The thing is, these orders may change in the following turn. So what we're doing here then is I'm going to show you guys the movements we're making. So for example, Haruna will be heading to around about here somewhere. We will have, let's see here, so I'm going to press the 6 key. So you can see here where our submarines will be patrolling. So our submarines will be patrolling this area. I do have 2 submarines over here that are heading to this area, to the island just off the coast of Singapore. Hello there, Nukesploder, how you doing? Thanks for all the great content. Do you have a plan to play the Soviet Union? Thanks, man. Yeah, one day. I'm trying to I'm trying to nag my way into the one in the East 2 beta. Man, I can't wait for that. I'm really trying to nag my way in there. I have been nagging away at the Matrix stuff for some time now. Eventually I will get my wish. I swear to God. I've told them that's the only thing I want, is I want access to the one of the East 2 beta. Yeah, I'd like to play the Soviets one day. I mean, I would like to do some more play-by-email games in the future. That'd be a lot of fun. I've got a lot of projects. I mean, I could manage them all. It's just having the planning really there in mind. Ideally, I'd like to change jobs in the future. It would be nice to have something that's a little bit more conductive to this. I mean, this is the thing. It's like, I mean, God, you know what? How many years have I been doing this? Maybe 5, probably 5 years, maybe 6. Probably closer to 6 years, maybe around about that. And you know what? It's like I've got what, 5,400-ish subscribers. It's not a big number, you know. It's like a tiny number in the grand scheme of things. But what I love is the fact that I get to do these niche games. And I didn't start this way. I think the first games I put up, the very first video I think I put up, was of a game called Lone Survivor, and then like I started doing like Half-Life 2 mods, and I think I did some, like, Dawn of War games, Sins of Solar Empire. Like, lots of little games like that. And then eventually I just happened upon a video from Pew Pew Chew? Pew Pew? Pew Pew? I can't remember I think it was Pew Pew. Yeah, I think I happened upon one of his videos and I was like, wow, this game looks amazing. And that was like One Beast. And pretty much went from there, really. Oh dear. Yeah, he is. I like that, man. Just upload some Fortnite. To be honest, I think the most successful video I've ever had was of... bloody hell, what was it now? Ah, God, I can't remember the name of the game now. But it was funny, actually. The video was actually picked up and put on Pirates Bay. As like an advertisement. Like, it was on Pirates Bay. So, the link was there to obviously, like, say, oh, this is the game, this is what it looks like. And Jesus Christ, I never had as many, like, views as coming in as once. I think it's something like over, like, 10,000 views. I'm like, where the hell are these views coming from? And then it's like, I went to Pirates Bay, I'm like, oh my god, this is where it is. I'm like, well, this is great. I mean, I wish they'd do this every time. Oh, dear. Yeah, I mean, I really do love the underdog games. Manchester United. I love it, man. Okay. Anyway, back to the game. I'm getting off topic here. I'm getting all nostalgic. But yes, we have our submarines over here. What we'll have is, we have our aircraft, obviously from the airfields over here at Saigon. They've got a radius of something like that, about 13 hexes. So if I count here, so let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so roughly here is where the radius is. Force Z is just within that. So what we want is then for Force Z to stay within the actual range of our units over here. We should be able to pick them off. We have like around about 90 aircraft to actually chew into Force Z. I do hope he actually continues his path to the east. If he continues his path to the east, we'll be able to sink it no matter what. If it retreats, well, it's going to be a challenge. And in some ways, I'd actually love it if the British battle force actually survived. That'd be amazing. So there, Troll and Smoke, how you do, my friend? Yes, it's night at the moment here. If you attack them, you'd probably lose men. Yeah, we'd lose everything. The Soviets would steamrollers. They have much better equipment. We'd probably be able to put up a fight in 41, but yeah, not much beyond that. Okay. We'll go back to our R&D in aircraft manufacturing. Force C is probably going to south. I mean, you can spoil the Philippines by going all the way around. That's true, it would take a long time to get there. See, we're doing a few things that I hope you will not suspect. Like, for example, there will be no invasions of New Guinea, at least for some time. We're not invading the island of Makin. We're actually invading Canton Island down here, which is going to be different. There'll be no invasions around here, no invasions. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm using our forces that were being dispatched to this area of the Dutch East Indies, and I'm using them to be sent to Messing, so I can actually take control of this rail yard here. Well, this rail line here. Yeah. And what other powerful ships are there in the area? I know the Australians have a couple heavy cruisers. I'm not entirely sure what the Dutch will have, but they'll have some light cruisers, destroyers, etc, etc. The submarines are really the big threat, but yeah, 2 capital ships is dangerous. Okay. To be honest, if you watch the series from the very start, I go into absolutely ridiculous detail. But I'd like to say it's a series. I wanted to make this as something that somebody could follow, ideally. And we've actually hit quite a lot of the American battleships already. We'll be going into the potential sighting of Lexington soon as well, by the way. That's going to be my, like, teaser. But we'll go here then. So, combat reports. So this was our raid on Pearl Harbor. We did lose a lot of zeros here, which I'm not particularly happy about. And we can see here that we hit West Virginia, Arizona, Oklahoma, Maryland, Pennsylvania, California, Nevada, and Tennessee. Not the greatest raid ever, but we did hit some nice targets. We also still have our midget submarines over there, which is fantastic. Notice the fact I have all of them actually still alive, which is brilliant. That's going to be great. The search will continue over here. Yeah, we'll touch upon the sighting, well, potential sighting of the Lexington soon. Hello there, Christoph. How are you doing, my friends? Right. I'm gonna stop waffling on for a while. I'm gonna waffle anyway, but I'll do some useful waffling. Okay, I don't need many there. I can actually continue that production as it is at the moment. Yeah, the tracker is fantastic. The interface is usable, but the tracker just gives you so much more information, in all honesty. The battleships you hit on Pearl Harbor, did any of them sink? I doubt any of them sunk. Maybe one of them. I think one of them was hit by, like, 4 torpedoes. Is this game, like, close to Hardline 3? In appearances, maybe, but not really. It's very different. A lot deeper. Yeah, I think one of them amazing, but I think the rest will just be damaged. No, in some ways, to be honest, like, I'd rather not sink any battleships. I know that sounds counterproductive, but the thing is, for example, these battleships weigh, what, 20 to 30,000 tons, somewhere around that region. The thing is, if that ship is damaged, that's going to be in his repair shipyard for quite a few months, and it's going to be in his dock for quite a few months. So it's actually more beneficial to me, in a sense, buying ships that are only damaged, as that takes up valuable room within the dock. Of course, it's going to come back to haunt me, but it takes up room within his docks, which means obviously he has issues there during the actual initial stages of war. Like, the battleships I can handle as battleships. They're obviously bloody dangerous, but they're not the main threat. The carrier's obviously the main threat. Okay. Right, so we'll continue here then. I think what I'm going to do then is we'll go over to here. We'll just expand this to meet the numbers needed. Some of these models obviously I'll be phasing out. Right, building now. Yeah. I mean, it's a very powerful force, it really is. It could do a lot to me. If we let it. Like, they have guns that can definitely penetrate the Congo and Haruna's armor quite easily. They could beat me in a surface battle, like battleship to battleship. It does depend on the crew experience. To be fair, if we take a look over at Congo and Haruna. Oh, the music I use is just like the Hearts of Iron 3 and Hearts of Iron 2 soundtracks. It's copyright free, which is really fantastic. But yeah, if you're just going to like Darkest Tower, like Hearts of Iron 3, just use the soundtracks there, that's all I use. Okay. Yeah, I know, right. Right. So for example, you take a look at the Congo. So the Congo's crew has 68 experience in the day and 68 at night. They're just as effective, well, roughly just as effective at night as they are well, in the day. The Haruna's crew is better in the day. They're not as good as Congo at night. Not by much, but this is actually the more experienced battleship crew. Yeah, which pretty much passes for other ships. They do tend to have pretty good night fighting experience, which is very powerful. So if we do have a surface engagement, should we engage at night, we'd absolutely decimate them, ideally. Right. Okay. Just wondering, where's the battleship Kirishima? Kirishima or Kiributai? Yamashiro, Uso, Isi, Hyuga, and Nagato. Yeah, so Kirishima is probably over here. No, yeah, is it Kirishima you was looking for? Yeah, Kirishima's here. Okay. No, it's turn-based. So basically what I do here is I initiate all my orders, and then I will send the save on, and obviously he'll put his orders in. Indeed. Yeah, time does fly in this chat. I do waffle on for so long before I get something done. How good are the armored convoy raiders? Yeah, so there's two rounds basically, I suppose you could call it. Like, you have like 12 hours a day, you have 12 hours a night. You have like aircraft, naval movement, that sort of thing. It's a good question, like the merchant raiders. So for example, I have my armed merchant cruiser, Hokoku Maru. So she's armed with the 14cm guns, so 114cm guns. So we have one to the face, well, one to the front, one to the right, right south? Left south? Maybe? Left side? Oh, right side, left side. God, I'm a little bit on the spectrum here. So rear... Okay, so... 140 to the front, 140 to the rear. So we can bring to bear, like, what, 5 guns for broadside. We are equipped with the torpedoes, which are very good. Very, very good. And you look at their armor penetration there, 661. That's bloody amazing. We only do have 1 torpedo, though. But still, that's fantastic. Of course, we have 2 of them, but yeah, we'll fire 2 torpedoes and that's our volley. They're actually pretty effective ships, I'm not going to lie. Their AA armored's decent. Maneuverability is obviously trash. Well, their speed's obviously not very great. They have no armor. So the thing is, yeah, they can't go up against an actual warship, but they can actually take on merchant ships quite well. Okay. Let's take a look at our aircraft then. What I'm going to do then is... Let's see. Depending on the aircraft, I'll bring it up to required. Like, look at this. Required here is 316. Indeed. Okay. If I take a look at this, if we are producing, let's say, 100 Ka-43s, what we'll do then is 316 divided by 100. So it'll take us just over 3 months to actually gain those numbers, which I'm fine with. If we need to up it, we will do. Might be worthwhile upping it, but probably worthwhile upping it. But we'll do that in the future. Now the Val, that's an interesting one. The required build is only 25, but I would like to have more of those. Let's take a look. Right. What I'll do is I'll bring these numbers up to 30. Make them nice round numbers. And then again, well, let's actually take a look at this. I'm alright doing round bloody numbers if it's no good to me. I have the G4M1. Is that what I'm looking at? Yeah, G4M1. Okay. Yeah, this is only turn 1. We had the pre-turn. If you look at episode 1, part 1, that's where you actually see the turn resolution. There's like 7 parts before that. And before we even got to turn 1, I must have spent maybe 15.5 hours, maybe 16.5 hours on actual setup. Okay. We do need to expand this. I'm not producing many of them. I think what I'll do then is I'll bring the production up to... I'll double it to about 50. Okay. The G4M1, what engine do you use? Would I use the Mitsubishi HA32. How many of those do I produce? 32, 60 a month. Need 138. Right. What I'll do then is I'll bring the engine numbers up to these rough numbers for the potential use. We'll go from there. So let's move this over to one side. Trying to move this. There we go. Right. I think if we have the engines, then we can comfortably upgrade the amount of aircraft quite easily. Right. So 32. Producing 60 engines a month. I need 138 for potential use. Obviously, I'm increasing that by an additional... Am I increasing that by an additional 35? Oh god, no, that's even more, isn't it? The G4s. Are they 4 engines or 2 engines? Let's find a squadron and just take a quick look. I believe I have a squadron of G4s over here. Yeah, G4 and 1 by Betty's. Let's take a look at the aircraft data. I see the actual engines here. Ah, yeah, 2 engines. Okay. So if I produce 50 G4M1s, I'm going to need 100 engines. Ugh. So much, I see. I mean, HI. I was thinking of Heart of Iron Man. Okay. Back into the game. Right. Let's figure out our potential use here. So 32. Yeah, they're used by our reconnaissance aircraft as well. Actually, no. I tell a lie. Okay. We will be using them for the B6s. Okay. So that's 100 engines right there. What I should do here is add in another 50 engines just to cover the expansion there. Right, so that covers the initial expansion. And then what we'll do is... Okay. So I needed 132 engines. What I'll do then is obviously 132 minus 60. So I need to add another additional 72 then to bring it up to the potential use. Right, there we go. Have you allowed to repair? Now for the HA33. Ah. Well, the tracker crashed. I'll just have to bring that back home. That'll take 2 moments. How fast do these factories expand? 1 per day? I'm not entirely sure. It'd be an interesting one to take a look at. Okay. I've just done the 32. Or was it the 32 I did, or was it the 33? God damn, I forgot which one I did. I think it was the 32. Yes, I just did the 32. Okay, whatever. Whatever, I'm just gonna, like, assume that I'll have enough engines there. We'll obviously change things as we go. HA34. Need that for the Tojo. I need at least 125. Yeah. No expansion here. Number 20. That brings us up to 100. There we go. And I need 125. There we go. Allow you to repair. I'm increasing this rapidly. I think we might increase this even further, to be honest. I'm gonna add another 100. And another 100 here. So that's going to bring us to a total of 700 Nakajima HA35s. What we're doing here is we're counting with the potential use of 300 from just the fighters alone at full production in the early war. What I'm trying to do here is actually build up a surplus. I want a pool of about 500 engines. So how it works is, for example, if I have, let's go to our information over here. So if I go to intelligence report, we go to aircraft. Right, so in the pool. So for example, I have 167 HA35s here. If I have over 500, I gain R&D bonuses. So how it works is, roughly, let's say that we have 501 engines. We will gain 1 point of R&D. And how it works is with R&D is, right, okay. It's a little bit of a complicated thing. So we'll go here to size, let's see. Let's go to type, okay. Right, so these are being expanded to size 30. How it works is with the R&D is you have one facility repaired. It increases, the more facilities you have, the more it increases the likelihood that a second facility will be built, sorry. And that increases as you have more facilities. So eventually when we do get to 30, we start making points then. I think each facility produces 1 point. I don't know whether that's per day or per month, I can't remember. I think it might be per month, I'm not entirely sure. I forget which one it is. But then obviously we'd gain 30 points here, 30 points here, 30 points here, so like 90 points or something like that. So you can imagine we'd gain 30 points there. Now, every 100 points of R&D brings an aircraft closer by 1 month. So that's huge. So then if we add on to that having the actual engine, so if I have like, let's say, 10 engines over 500, that means an extra 10 points. So that could stack up to mean we gain aircraft much sooner. In my game, I tried to streamline my engine use to a few HA-type engines, but I think I broke the economy. That's fair enough. Yeah, there's a lot of things here. We really do need to get the economy to work. There's so much to take into consideration here. It's almost overwhelming in some ways. And what I'm doing here is I'm just getting up to the actual potential engine requirements, and then we'll go from there, really. I do have to get the turn submitted sometime soon, so I do have a bit of a time constraint. That, and I think we'll learn from experience in fairness. Okay. So 34's done, 32's done, 33's done. Well, let's take a look at 33. So for 33, I'd need potentially 457 engines. It's a lot of engines, so I'm not going to commit to that many right now. We might do it in the future once we have a little bit more information. But I'm not going to do it right now. Okay. The HA5. What do you produce? I don't think it's an important engine. It might increase that to 200. We'll consider in the future. Alright, let's look at our airframes here. How many do we want? We'll take a look at that then. Maybe you should have somebody in command of the army, somebody in command of the navy, and have somebody in charge of the production war tigers. Aye, indeed. And we're just going to put some happy engines in these airframes. Aye, indeed. Oh dear. Right. If I take a look then, so we'll take a look at building. Go by simple. I think what I'll do with these is, until we've really figured out how much we're going to need, is I'm going to just increase their production to about 30. I think that'll be a number that I can work with. I'll not expand of the less needed ones. You're obviously being expanded further. You could obviously be upgraded and changed over. It's not my proudest. I don't feel too particularly proud of this because I'm not really considering too much here. I think the thing is I needed a little bit more, like, sort of information. We're definitely going to need more vowels. So I'll up that production to about 50. Well, obviously that's going to be more, but I mean that takes us to 62. Might as well bring it up to 70 then, just to make it a round number. Like, I need to be producing more of these. Or at least some of these, you know what I mean? You need to be taking a look at the supply here. I'd like more H6Ks, definitely. Yeah, we don't have those available yet. We do have the B5N2Ks, which we're going to start producing now. I definitely like more H6Ks. There we go. The rest I do feel fairly confident in just leaving. Yeah. Well, we have the dive bombs and the torpedo bombers set up, so that one's not an issue. That one's fine. Right. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that for R&D for the time being. I'm not too particularly happy about this. I really do need to do more research on the R&D. We did start out with about 50,000 heavy industry points, so we're not doing bad, are we? I do need to expand my repair shipyards, to be fair. Tokyo does need to be expanded to a size 100. The reason for that is because this is where ships will be heading to be converted. Yeah. The thing is, I can't overproduce those engines. It depends really how many we will actually need. So I'm expanding that to 30 for the time being. Okay, but Tokyo is going to be expanded to a size 100 repair facility. There we go. Fine for now. Obviously, we've turned armaments off. Actually, let's go back into the air, make sure everything that is expanded is going to have that. Obviously, some of these are buggered up a bit, but that's fine. So R&D is all set to expand. Be like that, Destroyer Man. Have a great one. To be fair, if you hold on 2 minutes, I'll be able to go over the Lexington. So I'll go over that now then, just for JC Destroyer's sake. I don't want it to miss anything. So what it is I was taking a look at the operational reports here. Now, obviously this does give us a lot of information, but the one that did very much intrigue me is, for example here, Submarine I-175 observes Allied torpedo bombers at 173-113. So which is roughly, so 173, 13, so 174, 174, 173, 113. So this is actually on top of 175. And now what that does make me wonder here is the actual carriers could be somewhere within this region. So it does make me wonder, are we heading in the right direction? But what makes me think most of all that we're onto the right track here, and something I'm actually considering is, do we actually alter the submarine perhaps? I'm going to say no, to say the fact that we do have Kitabutai that will be heading over here to the east. What I'm thinking here is that we do have a rough, I mean this is really rough, idea. So what we're going to do to try and figure out the potential location of Lexington, and this is some major theory crafting here, but what we're going to do is we're going to go to the aircraft comparison, and we'll take IGN, we'll take US Navy. What I want to do is take a look at torpedo bombers. So torpedo bombers. Now obviously we're using the B5N1 Kates and the B5N2 Kates. So we'll go with the B5N2 Kate. The Americans will have access to either the Devastator or the Avenger. I doubt they'll have anything else, so they'll be using the Devastator. Now the Devastator has, yes, a range of about 4 hexes. With the drop tank, 5. I'm correct? Now, that's a B5M1K, yep, 9. Yeah, 9. So what makes me think here? So I have a sighting of aircraft here of torpedo bombers. Now, note this is very important. So let's see here then. So this is hex 173113. So what this means is, for example, that if they're operating out at 4 to 5 hexes, I'm going to assume 5 hexes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Lexington could be potentially here, roundabout. Or, let's say, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could be potentially here. Of course, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could be potentially here. So what we have here then is a rough idea of where she might be. I mean, this is information that is very, very theoretical. But this is really what I love about the game. You can use the information the game gives you to actually figure some really interesting things out. So this is probably the best hunch I have right now. So what it means is that, for example, the Lexington could be heading towards Australia. If she's heading towards Australia, that means a series of decisions will be made. I.e., I'm going to have to deploy my forces in the Philippines, I'm going to have to use my submarines. So what I'm asking you guys is right now, given the evidence I've just given you there, of the potential for where the Lexington might be, I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you think this is maybe credible enough evidence to go off of something? Of course, I mean, of course, this is only a operational report. It's nothing concrete, but it's probably the most information we've received so far. I don't really have anything else like that. What interests me is it specifies torpedo bomber. That could be potentially a patrol plane. It could be some kind of other aircraft misconstrued. But it's very interesting. And we'll take a look at this. What I'm going to do here is just hide. There we go. So there, Von Molky, how you doing, my friend? I was like just clearly going to the seabed. Yes. So this here is the most interesting tidbit I've seen so far. Oh dear. Well, Von Molky, what we're basically discussing here is, for example, SS, so Submarine I-175, observes Allied torpedo bomber at 173-113. So if we take a look, the Americans will be using the TBD-1 Devastator. Now she has a maximum range of potentially 4 to 5 hexes. I'm going to say about 5 hexes. So we know that she may be operating about 5 hexes away from Lexington. So that means that, yeah, the submarine may have reported the wrong plane, might have misidentified it. Of course, that's a big consideration. But if we take a look at what else the Americans may have, so let's say, for example, a dive bomber. So we have the Vindicator, but I'd imagine they'd probably be using Helldiver. Their range is 5 to 6 hexes. What we could do here then is, if I go back, oops, right, if I go back here, now if I draw on, so 6, 7, so she could be potentially just off Johnston Island, then obviously down there. I doubt she's here, so what we can do then is we can use processor elimination. This northern path is obviously out of the question. The southern path is potential. We know she's not here, because we'd have detected her by now. Or is it the Dauntless? Take a quick look. Is it the Dauntless? You know, I think it actually is the Dauntless. Yeah, I actually think it is the Dauntless. So still 6-7, so that's fine. But yeah, we can rule out these two paths. So what that leaves us then is roughly this area. Now, I know that may sound crazy, but I think this is where she potentially is. I think this is the most probable amount of information that we'll get. Until we get something more concrete. But we'll take a look at the possibilities then. So for example, if Lexington is to pursue this eastern path, so she's roughly, she might be potentially here. So if Lexington's here then, let's see. So if she was to travel, where would she go to? She could head this way, towards like either Brisbane or Sydney. She could head potentially up here, the Dutch East Indies. She could potentially head around towards the Dutch East Indies. She could even be doing something rather intriguing. She could be heading something like that, link up with the other natural carriers. Sounds correct to me. Up the searching your planes on the subs, yeah. So I think what we might do then is actually take a look at the actual potential evidence here. is if we adjust some of our submarines. So for example, we have I-9. Now I-9 is equipped with a search aircraft. She's heading out here. So what I'm going to do then is take a look at her patrol. So I'll clear that. What I'm going to do then is head over here. I'm going to head a little bit further to the north. Is Kibutai close enough to that Scadbad area? She definitely is. Now I have agreed with DHG that I wouldn't be using my carriers to hunt her down. So what I'm doing with my carriers is they're being dispatched towards the east anyway. If I just take a look. So yes. Hiro, Soru, Shokaku, Zuikaku are heading that way. I may change their routing. They're still on direct, that's fine, so that's the most direct path. But yes, they're heading that way anyway. So Kidabutai is on its way towards Truck as we speak. That's where they're going to be going. Kidabutai is tasked towards this island here, so they're going there. Now, what I'm thinking here is, this is the most information, it's the most concrete information I have to go on at the moment. Yeah, Saki for the crew of the submarine that sinks her. We don't even need to sink her. All I need to do is just damage her. If I damage her enough to slow her down, she's dead. She's just simply dead. I don't need to kill her in one attack, that's the beautiful thing. All I need is to slow her down. If I slow her down by 3 knots, 4 knots, 5, dead. There's just no other way about it, she's going to be dead. I can track her down, and I can destroy her. Doesn't matter where she goes. I'll track her down and destroy her. Right. So now what we're going to take a look at then is... I mean, you look at this. There's not a huge distance here. So if we were to count this as... Well, let's see. To go west then. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Actually, what we'll do then is we'll count it from the actual hex. Let's see. That's 173, 113. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. So we'll say roughly 37 to reach the Marshall Islands. Obviously her planes will be effective. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So her planes could potentially, well, they could potentially attack from over here. This is where they could potentially reach these islands. Now, how long would it reach? How long would it take her to reach there? Now, let's figure this one out. So, how many did I count? Fuck, I forgot to count that. How many? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. So 38. So just make that a rough thing. Right, so it's going to write down here in the chart. So just roughly 38 hexes. What I'm going to do here then is now Kidabutai, their max speed. So the carriers here obviously travel at a max speed of 34 knots. Our heavy cruisers travel at 35 knots. But our destroyers here are the actual limiting factor. So what we'll do then is if we take a look at classes, yeah. Right, so if I take a look over here then, so available speed, max speed. So Lexington actually travels a maximum of 33 knots. She's a very nice carrier. I'd love to have her with her air capacity. But she travels at 33 knots. Now, what could we expect in terms of speed from the other cruisers with her? Yeah. Well, this is what I'm expecting her to do. I imagine she'll be running full speed. So we do have the fastest heavy cruiser, followed by Kirov, followed by the Omaha, which is a light cruiser. So if we take a look for Wichita, that is 33 knots. Okay, Pensacola. So, take a look at the destroyers. To be honest, well, it honestly doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. Because the thing is... Yeah, Northampton cost. Right. So you're on full speed. You travel at the speed of the slowest ship, which is 33 knots. So, the Wutai can manage... Okay, so Kidobutai can manage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna check here to see if I get that information. No, okay. Right. So we can estimate if she runs at full speed, it's going to take her 3 to 4 turns to reach the Marsh Islands. That is 175. What we'll do then is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to say her potential location, maybe either here, 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 roughly. Obviously that could be different locations, could be here, could be here. But what we're going to do then is we'll assume 1, 2, 4. We'll go for the mean option. So we'll go for the middle option, which would be here. What we're going to do then is assume this is the Lexington's location. So now she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so like that, so 10. And this is where she'll end up. I'm going to put down day 1. Technically, she's probably on day 2, considering she's moving out here. So what we'll do then is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Where she'll end up on the second day. Yeah. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do have search planes. What I'm going to do is actually have them check this area. Okay. We can see here that roughly the thing is, if this is correct, I can respond to this. But the question is he gonna run directly west? Doubt it. What he may do is essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that would be day 1. Now, of course, obviously I can't really fit a day 2 on, but we'll go for it best as we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obviously, then that will go on. So what we'll do then is we'll link them up. Now, this is the one I imagine she's going to take. What I do here then is if we put on our search patterns, you can see here, we'll have a submarine on this path. We'll have the rest of our submarines going around here. Now, our submarines travel... Figure this one out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 perhaps? Yeah, this is where they end. So I'm going to go with 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I mean, that's 175 as well. So, I think the best chance that we have here, and what I'm going to do here is give you guys a little bit more information. Hide that for the time being. If I look at map, search arcs. Right. So if we take a look over here then, we can... Yeah, we can expect Kidabutai somewhere around here. Now, if I hadn't agreed to not hunting him with the carriers, I probably would have had him by now. But we've agreed to. So Kidabutai will continue on her path east, which means she's going to be heading towards the truck. Now, we are going to use our submarines to actually head in this direction. The reason why I think she's heading southeast, excuse me, sorry, southwest, is... Well, to be honest, it's actually kind of dangerous. She'll probably pass down by Mac in Tarawa. She's indeed heading towards Australia. And then she'll head through over here into the Coral Sea and then to Australia. So what we're going to do then is, if we take a look, let's see. So these are the AMCs. These are my patrol aircraft. What I need to do then is potentially have my patrol aircraft searching from over here down to about here. Now the thing is, when you're on like, well, when you're on ASW missions, you do lose a couple hexes of range. And we'll soon probably something like that for searching. We'll see, we'll see. But what we'll do then is, I'm going to have you head southeast, well, southwest. Yeah, directly. Yeah. Then again. Yeah. I think that's the path that is most likely to find her. Okay. Now, You're heading that way. Yeah, we'll fix it. The float planes are already set. Let's see. I think I've already got them set. You don't have float planes, sadly. Yeah, they're already set to 100%. Yeah, we've got them on full speed. What we'll do then is, let's see. 2,400 tons, 2,200 tons. Yep, you're on full speed already. I think he's going to use flank speed. If he doesn't use full speed, flank speed, whatever you want to call it, it just makes my life even easier, to be honest. But I suspect he'll be using full speed. Yeah. But I think this is the best information we've got. At the end of the day, I've gained a report over here. There may be aircraft over here, but the thing is, if he heads north, Kidabutai will detect him. If he heads south, he can run more potentially undetected. If he heads west, he can run potentially undetected. If he heads, well... Sorry. I do this all the time. Yeah, if he heads west, he can potentially be undetected. He heads south, potentially undetected. He heads, obviously east. Yeah, he'd have to come all the way around here. He starts somewhere around here. So I think he's definitely going to be running this way. What I'll do... is have extra submarines head this way. There we go. What I'm doing is actually increasing the amount of submarines in this area. Ideally catch him. The thing is, the more submarines we have in the area, and the thing is, I'm more than willing to run these guys at full speed for some time. Basically, if we have to, we'll hunt him down. Now, what I'm going to do is I do have a couple of submarines over here. So I'm going to have that right now. They're heading towards Australian waters. They're heading down over this way. And what I'll do then... Thing is, they're not terribly fast. They can do 20 knots, which is not bad. Not bad, actually. I think I'll deploy submarines down to the Phoenix Islands. So patrol around Canton Island. I could put them on full speed, but I don't have a huge endurance, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, that's 2 submarines heading out that way. Actually, then again, I'll put them on full speed. The other 2 can continue to head towards Australian waters. There we go. I wonder if the game models flank speed wear on the engines. Yes, when you head at full speed for a long time, well, for longer, it does increase the actual system damage. Okay, so what do you guys reckon then? Like, on a scale of, like, 1 to 10, how weird is it that I've been able to sort of deduce that information from just having that one report? Am I a bit of a weirdo? Because I feel like a bit of a weirdo, but you know what? I feel I'll feel vindicated. I'll feel honestly amazing if we actually do capture him. If we actually do figure out he's there from one report, I'll be bloody happy. Oh dear. Right. What we'll do then is we'll adjust the patrol planes. Not a terrible amount of aviation support there, so I'm not going to run anything. That's good to hear. Right. Good number of Hague 6Ks. Reduce that down to 20%. Yeah, hopefully so. What are the chances that he has the torpedo bombers on Johnson Island? He may do. I don't think he has aircraft there. This is their range. Right. So this is the area they will be roughly searching. And that's their max range at 25. You can see why we need islands closer. I'll have the other ones do the same. Actually, let's just take a look at the search hierarchy. I can set that up. So, 8140. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so what we'll be doing then is we'll have search plane search in here. I do have some float planes, but they don't have great range, do they? Yeah. I really wish that wasn't there. That's heading back to Japan. Let's see. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to adjust the mission of Kibutai. I'm going to have them head to Iwajirin Island. I'm breaking them. I'd say we'd be breaking the rules. Yeah, so that would be actually sending my carriers knowingly in the direction of his carrier. So yeah, I'll play by the rules. There we go. We might get, obviously, the lucky hit. We never know. But this is... yeah, this is where we'll leave it here for today. So thank you so very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. There's not actually much left to do until we actually submit the turn. Give it about a week and then we'll be able to see what happens. So indeed, thank you so very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed this. And until next time, goodbye for now. Have a great day, evening, whatever you're doing. Goodbye for now. See you soon.